What we're going to do is to use PowerPoint in order to edit and enhance our image. Now there are, of course, many commercially available pieces of software that are sophisticated image manipulators or image editors. If you have access to one of those, if you know how to use Photoshop or something like that, you are welcome to use it. What I want to show you is how to use PowerPoint. And the reason that I like to use PowerPoint is because even if you don't have access to any of those image editors, most people have access to PowerPoint. And PowerPoint has plenty of image editing capabilities for what most of us need to do with our images. So what we're going to do to begin with is, you will remember in the last video we captured an image of the Google Doc menu bar. And what we're going to do is add a couple of things to that image and then go ahead and put it in a Word document that will help people understand how to use Google Docs. So the first thing we have to do, of course, is to bring up our image, and we do that with the Insert menu. So we'll go to the Insert menu and we'll choose to insert a picture, and I saved this on the desktop and it was called Google Image. So I highlight that and go ahead and click Insert, and here is our image of our menu bar. Now, for those of you who are not too familiar with PowerPoint, when an image is selected, you have this little bounding box around it. If I click away, that box goes away, and now our image is not selected. One thing that's interesting to note is once I click on an image, I actually get an extra menu up at the top of PowerPoint. I get a Picture Tools menu, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But PowerPoint is smart enough to know that if we've clicked on an image, we might want to be doing some image editing with it. But what we're going to do with our image is we're just going to highlight a couple of items on the image, and then we're going to label that and save it so that we can then import that picture into our Microsoft Word document. So I know that right now this image is really wide because this is sideways. So this is like an 11-inch piece, an 8.5 by 11-inch piece of paper, but it's going the 11-inch way. When I create my document that explains to people in Microsoft Word how they're going to use Google Docs, it's going to be in portrait. It's going to be only 8.5 inches across. So I'm going to need to make this menu a lot smaller. And the way that you make this smaller is you just click and drag on a corner and it will make it proportionately smaller. If you click and drag on the side, it just squishes it together. I'm going to undo that with Control Z. If you click and drag it on the top, it just squishes it together. But if you click and drag by the corners, it keeps it proportionate so that it doesn't get all squished. So let's go ahead and make it about this big, and I'm just going to move it over here so I have some room to work. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight these menus right here, the File, Edit, View, Insert, Format, Tools, Table, Help. I'm going to circle that and I'm going to label those menus. So the way that I'm going to do that is by going to the Home tab. So I'm up at the top, I go to the Home tab, and if you're familiar with PowerPoint, you'll know that you have the option to create many shapes. And so I'm just going to put an oval around those. I suppose a rectangle might work better, but I'm going to go ahead and do an oval, and I will just click and drag until my oval is about the size I want it to be. That looks like a pretty good size. And when I let go, you'll see that you can't see the menus because this oval is filled in. So what I want to do is change this to no fill. So because the oval is already selected, and you can tell that because there's the little bounding box around it, I'm going to go up to the Shape Fill menu, and I'm going to say no fill. So when I let go, you'll see now I have my blue oval with no fill so that I can see the menus. Now, for whatever reason, I like using red to highlight things instead of using blue. So I want to change that to a red oval. So I need to click on it so the oval is selected and PowerPoint knows what I'm talking about. And now I am going to change the color. So I want to go to Shape Outline, and I'm just going to pick this really red color right here and let go. So that's perfect for me. I like that a lot. So I'm going to click away, and you can see now that my image, I have my menu and I have the menu selected. Now what I'm going to do is to create a label that says menus with a little arrow that points to it so people know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to get the text box here, go ahead and click and type menu, and that's probably a good enough size. probably a little big. Let's make that a little smaller. Instead of 18, let's make that about 14, and let's make it red so it matches. So we'll go up here to the text font tool and we'll make it red so it matches. So now we have our label, and we just want to connect those two things with a line or with an arrow. I'm going to use an arrow. So I pick the arrow, I just click and drag from the menu word to the oval. So there it's connecting it, and of course that doesn't look good because it's not red. So I'm going to highlight it, go back to the shape outline, and make it red. And so now whenever people see this picture, they know that those are the menus. I'm going to make my menu a little lower so it's more tied to the line. There, I'm going to go like that. So now what I want to do is save this as an image so that I can put it in my Microsoft Word instructional document that I'm creating. Right now, though, we have many images here. We have our original image of the overall menu, we have our oval, we have the word menu, and we have the arrow. So we actually have 4 elements, and what we want to do is save those as one picture. And the way that you can do that is just by clicking and dragging over everything. That will select everything. And so now the computer knows that we're talking about everything. You can, if you want, group these into one group, but you don't have to. So what we're going to do is, once all of this is selected, we're going to right-click. Those of you who are on Macintoshes, you'll need to Apple-click. We're going to right-click on this, and you'll see that there's a menu. Well, let me try that again. Oops. Now I've got it. You'll see that there's a menu that says Save as Picture. So we're going to choose Save as Picture. And it wants to know what we want to call this. I'm going to put this on the desktop, and I'm going to call this Doc Menu, and go ahead and save it. And now that has been saved as one picture that I can do whatever I want with now. I can bring it back into PowerPoint and do some more editing to it, but what we're going to do is insert it into our Microsoft Word document. So let me bring up a Microsoft Word document. So here's a document I've started to create called Introduction to Google Document. It says Google Doc is a web-based collaborative word processing document, and then I've got something called Menu. It says if you're familiar with another word processor such as Microsoft Word, then Google Doc menu bar will also be familiar to you. And right here, after that text, is where I want to insert my image so that the readers can now see that Google Doc image with the menu circled and the word menu and the little arrow going to it. So you click where you want your image to go. You go to the menu tab at the top. We're going to insert a picture. We'll go to the desktop and select our doc menu picture and click Insert, and there it is. So now we can continue if we want after that to type some more text. You know, the menu is highlighted, etc., etc., etc. So that's how you take a screen capture, you make some edits and changes to it, and you can then save it as an image and insert it into a Microsoft Word or a Slide Rocket or anything else that you want. In the next video, I will show you how to do some additional manipulation with pictures.